Hey kids, hey, I hope you had a great Easter. This is Tuesday after Easter break. One of the things I want to do today with you is teach you how to kind of fix a dent in the wall. This is a little dent that I'd say one of my kids took the corner of this chair I'm sitting on. It looks about the perfect height, perfect shape of that corner. Looks like it smacked into the wall and it put a dent in the wall. What's kind of a bummer is I just painted this wall last year, so kind of stinks I have to fix it, but that's part of life. That happens in houses. You get dents in walls, you get dents in doors, you get dings in trim. That's just part of owning a house. So I want to show you today a couple things that you can use to fix stuff like that in your walls. Sometimes you'll have this stuff laying around the house. I'm going to show you 3 things today that you can use to fix something like this in a wall. Now, I have lots of time, so one of the first things I'll show you, this is that spackling that I used when I showed you in an earlier video how to fill in nail holes and trim. And this is that lightweight spackling, and it dries really fast and it sands really easily. And if you have some of that laying around, that's a great option. Now this particular, I wouldn't call this a hole in the wall. This is more of just a ding, a dent. So there's backing behind it, so this is going to fill really easily. So it's not going to require me to actually have to cut the hole out of the wall and patch it. So that's a super easy fix. So this is a good choice if you have that. What I'm probably going to use today is this. This is an all-purpose joint compound, and this comes in 5-gallon buckets, or you can get it in gallon buckets, or you can actually get it in smaller tubs. But I had a little accident when I was painting the other room in there last year, and I went to hang a shelf on the wall and had a little bit of a temper tantrum, and it busted through my wall, and I had to really fix a pretty big area. So I bought this all-purpose joint compound. This stuff doesn't usually last a really long time, but I opened it up and it didn't have any mold or anything in it, so I kept it inside. If you keep it outside and it freezes, usually it'll go bad, but it worked out. It's not bad yet. It's still good, so I'm going to probably use that today. Another thing that we use a lot on job sites to fix stuff is this is an actual basically joint compound, but you have to mix it with water, and it's a 20-minute set time. So if you're in a hurry and you want to patch something fast, this stuff, you can buy this at Lowe's, 84 Lumber, even most hardware stores are going to have this. And it's usually, there's different brands of it, but this stuff is almost like plaster of Paris. It sets up really, really fast, and you can get it in 20, 45, and 90. So usually the 20 dries in about 20 minutes, the 45 minutes, and the 90. So depending on what you're doing, if you're in a big hurry, you can use the 20. Now basically what you do, if you want to use that stuff, you take a drywall pan like this. Now listen, you can buy these at the store pretty cheap. You don't necessarily need one like this. You can buy a cheaper one if you want to, but these are really nice to have. They're handy for doing patchwork and stuff. So basically what you would do is you'd put a little bit of that. I always add the water first, just a wee little bit of water, and then I'll put some of the powder in and I'll mix it up. You don't mix a whole bag at a time because, like I said, it dries super fast. So you can mix a little bit as you need, and you want it about the consistency of peanut butter. If you get it much, you want to use a little bit at a time because it is going to dry fast. So if you get a little overzealous with it, you're going to end up with a pan of dry mud. So a little bit at a time is probably the best way for you to do that, and it will speed up your patching process. So I'm just using a small, that's probably about a 2.5, 3-inch putty knife. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this stuff. And like I said, it's sat for a while. I bought it probably last year about this time actually. And it does look good. It's not hard. It's not molded. I'm just going to kind of mix it up a little bit. And listen, I just have a wee little patch to do. So probably what I have on my knife will be enough. I put a drop cloth down because I don't want to get this stuff all over the place. And all I'm going to do is just add it into that hole and just I'm just going to wipe the excess away, and I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not going to try to keep piling on there. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to let this dry for 24 hours. Now, a little hole like this is actually a lot of work, because after I get this finished out, I have to sand it, then I have to prime it, then I have to paint it. So a little job like this, there's a good bit of work. So if you have other places in the room that need fixed, now's the time to do it. You're going to have this stuff out, you're going to have the primer out, and you're going to have the paint out. So I'm going to go around the room and just see if there's any other little places that are going to need fixed, and if they do, I'm going to go ahead and fix them. But listen, like I always tell you, let this stuff dry. Don't try to paint this, don't try to sand this until it's completely set up, or you're going to have a mess on your hands and have to do it again. So I'm going to let this dry. I put it on really thin, and I'm going to put a couple coats on this over the next couple days, and I'm going to pop up another video that shows you how to paint and how to prime and how to do all the finishing stuff that it's going to take. This is going to be kind of tough, because I'm going to have to try to blend this paint into something that's already been painted, and that's a challenge. So I hope you had a great Easter, and I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow for a video. The weather's kind of went crappy on us. It's a little colder outside than we'd all like. So maybe I'll do something outside tomorrow, or maybe I'll hit this again tomorrow. But anyway, I'll see you tomorrow, Monarch.